So this has been quite the week for Five Nights at Freddy's, hasn't it?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, big week.
It's been amazing. So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
Hey everyone, Razbowski here.
What's going on, guys? Dorko here.
And welcome back to Theory Thursday, episode 12. Now, this one, we're of course going to be dedicating it to the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 trailer, which has been out now around about 48 hours as of recording this.
Yeah.
Now, we see a lot within the trailer, and one thing that's very brief, or at least not demonstrated a whole lot, is the game mechanics within Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And so we feel it's possibly important to dedicate one of our Theory Thursdays towards talking about just the genuine mechanics behind the game, because there's a lot of ideas going around, and it's worth giving our own thoughts on this whole topic. So we're going to begin by talking about, of course, the Plush Trap character. Now, this was teased on scottgames.com, and everyone instantly had alarm bells ringing, and it was a very interesting teaser, one we didn't expect whatsoever. So we're going to be talking about how we think this might play into the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 game.
Well, I personally believe that Plush Trap has a major influence on what is actually happening. I think that this is kind of like a poltergeist kind of story where like something's dug up and it has like loads of poltergeists and ghosts haunted within.
Okay.
So I reckon that Plush Trap, because he says, "What have you brought home?"
Yeah.
One of the things.
Yeah.
So I reckon he brought home a Springtrap plush teddy or plush trap, and obviously that's brought back a load of nightmares with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's probably going to be what's
I
happening.
think he's definitely significant in the story because what have you brought home? Terrible things come in small packages, as we saw in the teaser. And myself and Dorko were talking about this yesterday when we recorded a video on it. It was that the nightmare. He doesn't look like a nightmare animatronic. He's obviously smaller in stature. He hasn't got the big, long fingernails. He's got 4 fingers. He hasn't got the big, over-exaggerated teeth. He appears to be separate from the rest of them, and to go hand in hand with this separation, he has a different mechanic as well. Up in the top right hand corner, there's no longer a time but some sort of countdowner. That's terrible grammar. Some sort of countdown meter. It starts at 50, and when he jumps back onto the seat, it goes to 49. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to know the story about how Plush Trap got into this house and why it's haunted as well. It's going to be interesting how it's possessed, like Bushell said, a poltergeist. So what poltergeist is possessing this Plush Trap? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things which also demonstrates its importance with Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is the fact that this is the last teaser we saw before the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 trailer, and this teaser image actually demonstrated the release date of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So for me, that instantly shows that this guy is going to be very importantly entwined within the whole story. And, you know, as we've all said as well, he's a totally different character to these nightmare animatronics. He doesn't resemble them, and he seems to take on almost like a role of his own. He sits in this chair. All the other guys seem focused on getting you, and it seems like when you actually see him, he retreats. And there is a large X on the floor. We don't know what this might mean, but I personally think that if he gets to that X, something bad happens, and we may be seeing some more of the Nightmare animatronics that we haven't seen in the trailer just yet.
Definitely seems like it's the countdown. You've got to survive the countdown. If he gets to the X marks whatever spot it is, but that's that seems to be his final destination. And whether there's a jump scare at the end of it or I don't know. It seems that's the way that's going to be some sort of game over if he does get to that point.
Yeah, and again, it's like, you know, he is one of these smaller guys, so he couldn't have someone stuffed in him like a child. And this actually leads on straight to the next point, which is talking about the mini Freddies also. These guys are very small, yet they are clearly conscious, and it does make you think, how are these guys so operational? There's no way a child could be stuffed into these suits because of their size, and it does still back up the whole idea that there is some kind of paranormal element entwined within. But I think more particularly, where do you think these Freddy guys are actually going?
Well, what we saw from the teaser, the first ever teaser for Five Nights at Freddy's 4, was they were actually hanging off Freddy's body.
Yes.
So that could possibly mean that they're actually going back to regroup onto Freddy's body. And maybe you have to, there's a kind of mechanic where maybe you have to, I don't know, click on them to kind of push them off the bed. Maybe if they stay there too long,
interesting,
it'll probably attract Freddy into the room. Maybe.
Okay.
We've suggested in a video that we've done that it's following the old Five Nights at Freddy's mechanics with Bonnie on the left, Chica on the right, and then as we know, Freddy in Five Nights at Freddy's
rarely attacks.
He rarely attacks you, but when he did, it was just out of the blue, out of nowhere. So I believe that these Fredlets definitely will link in with
if he it kind of look, because they're on the bed and they look like they scamper off under the bed. So if Nightmare Freddy is hiding under the bed, that would make sense with what the phone guy said in. What night was it? Second or third night about Freddy. He rarely comes off the stage, but he prefers the dark. So if Freddy was hiding under the bed, then that's a very dark place. Again, it goes hand in hand with children's nightmares, where the first two places you check when you go to bed is the closet where Foxy is, and under the bed where some kind of person might be hiding for you, and that would be an interesting place for Nightmare Freddy, and might explain why we haven't seen him in the trailer.
Great points.
It's interesting to know that when you look at them as well, they're just slightly twitching as well. It's completely horrifying. And the way they completely fling off the bed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know why I was thinking
spring.
about this, but, with gravity and things like that, there's no way something can move that quick without some kind of force pushing them off. So it's quite clear they are strong as well. Yeah. And I think one more thing I want to talk about as well is the fact that I don't think we've seen all of the rooms within this game yet, because if we're limited to two doors behind us, then the closet and just where Springtrap is, that's 6 camera systems yet. It almost seems like with each of the games there's been more and more cameras implemented. So, and we've only kind of seen possibly the upstairs room. And, one of these games which is kind of making me think a bit more interesting about this is the fact that in Mangle's Quest it shares the same window. We spoke a lot about this. A lot of people have seen this connection. And it seems to start almost downstairs. And, well, so we speculate anyway. And that's just one of those interesting side things. And it does make you think, how many more of these animatronics are we really going to be seeing? And now we're actually going to move over to the next point, which is possibly a more interesting one, which is how do we actually win Five Nights at Freddy's 4? Because it's very limited on what we see. So far, what we see, it just looks like you are going to get jump scared by Bonnie. It looks very aggressive and it's hard to win. And there's a lot of things entwined also that's not really shown within the trailer. So, guys, what do you actually think about this?
Well, like Five Nights at Freddy's route, to win the game, I guess you have to survive until you wake up, because if it's a nightmare, then you're trapped within that nightmare and you have to wake up. But I don't know, I think I'd move house, in honesty, if I kept having the same dreams.
I think if these guys are real, though, then moving houses will not be the solution, because you're just taking place in there.
Possibly.
I honestly don't know how you win. Going on the game mechanics, you've obviously got to check the closet. It tells you to do that. It tells you to close the doors to make sure nobody comes in there. But what we need to... what's stopping us from just closing the doors and constantly checking behind us on the bed for the Freddles... or Plush Freddies, I think some people are calling them now. And then obviously we've got the closet as well, making sure Foxy doesn't leap out of there. His mechanics obviously going to work the same way as Pirate Cove did in Five Nights at Freddy's 1.
Yeah.
Because there's no power meter. Oh, I think Dawko has something.
And you know when you said that you can just keep the doors closed?
Yeah.
I was thinking when you turn around to the bed, you don't see the doors anymore. Maybe they just come inside the room and then they get you.
That's true. Yeah.
Another quick thing as well before we side as well. Where the hell is Foxy's tongue gone?
I think
it's gone.
I was thinking it's probably to do with the jump scare. It'll probably come out if you jump scares.
Okay.
I was just thinking one last very important bit. What is going to introduce us to the game? Because it can't be a phone guy.
Yes. Oh wow. Okay.
So is it going to be like a I don't know, voice in your head maybe?
Some kind of montage of maybe like a flashback of what's happened before. I mean, I think people are really they're really debating about Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And, the ending, how it's like auctioned off. It makes so much sense now that all of a sudden they're coming back, and these are like the originals that were in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and maybe they've been bought or sold off at auction to this crazy guy. It's not confirmed, but it's just one of those things.
Like maybe it can start off obviously because you don't have a phone. I mean, we have that purple phone, but that's a little toy phone that doesn't actually work.
Although there is a radio in the top left-hand corner, isn't there?
Oh, true. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that maybe it's going to be like echoed memories in your head of what's happened in the past to maybe what's happened now. That'd be freaking awesome.
I think definitely to introduce some of the topics, if we don't experience mini games, I think what would be absolutely incredible is if we experience some kind of actual playable flashback in the same graphical style as we're seeing Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Or maybe even some kind of movie sequence. Maybe something like that.
It's definitely going to be interesting because he has done the mini games to explain the storyline. So if he does that again, but as Dawko was saying just the other day, it's a little bit harder because they had the arcade machines in the pizzerias. unless somebody's brought an arcade machine with them as well.
Or
then
it could be like a NES system, like an old Sega kind of system.
Have
If you know what I mean.
like a little Sega in his house, and he's playing as the Purple Man.
Yeah.
Kind of like
That'd be
Frogger game, cross the street without the animatronics running you over.
Yeah. I think as well, the last thing I want to pick up on is, you know, when we all first saw Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we was a bit speculative over the fact of how there'd be more nights, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, because it was like survive the attraction, so most people were like, okay, so we survived just the one night. It's the same thing with this again. Something really, really interesting that we haven't seen within this so far is a night system. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but was there actually a night system displayed in the jump scare in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 in the trailer?
I can't remember.
I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, this is going off of not having this footage in front of us, guys. If there was not, and we just saw the jump scare, then maybe Scott's hiding a night system from us, so we won't actually know about this until we play the game.
I thought we saw the time at the top, though.
Yeah, we saw the time, but we didn't see how many
trailer.
nights there would be.
Oh,
There was never a night?
Yes,
Yeah.
It didn't
I think
say
he
it,
didn't.
like,
He
night
didn't. I don't
one.
think he did show it. He didn't
Okay.
show it.
That would be interesting, because that would mean,
I think-
again, he's still hiding things from us, isn't he?
It's all pretty much in the title, though, isn't it? Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 5
Yeah,
nights.
I mean, I think
Actually
that
being at
alone, yeah.
Freddy's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is I thought that instantly. I was thinking, how is this still
I
renowned as
just
Freddy's?
looked at the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 trailer. There's no timer at all in
No
it.
timer.
It's-
It's very interesting. Okay, well that leaves a lot of speculation, I suppose, to the night system within this game. And something we don't know a lot about, which again we're not going to speculate in too much, is the whole DLC thing and how this is really going to cross over. Like, it's weird.
It is,
Yeah,
it is
it
weird. I feel that this trailer has just given us more questions than answers. I don't think it's
Absolutely.
actually
Wow,
answered
yeah.
anything. It's not, are the nightmares animatronics real? We don't know if the Bonnie jump scare actually results in a game over yet, because obviously we didn't see the hallucinations in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but we got a full-on jump scare for them. But then it just resulted in us the ventilation system going down, so we don't know if Nightmare Bonnie actually resulted in game over. What the hell does Plush Trap do as well?
There's
so much thrown around still, isn't there? Like, it's so confusing.
Yeah, what me and Raz were saying as well is that
Phone guy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I be a fairy Thursday too?
No, Scott. No. Maybe next time.
Yeah. Basically, we haven't seen Fredbear yet. So people are saying like, oh, maybe Scott's made the idea where there's going to be the extra content where we're going to go back to see Fredbear's roots.
That would be great. That would be a good idea. Yeah.
Like, it would be another brand new game as well, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's interesting to see whether Fredbear is going to be in this game, because if you think about it, where is Fredbear going to be, you know?
Yes.
It's gonna be cool.
Which again is tying in with this whole 4-door system and the plush trap, and it's just... It's one of those weird things, yeah.
Yeah, and other locations as well, what you were talking about. Maybe Fredbear could be in the basement or something, or somewhere different.
Yes, we haven't seen many rooms, so it's like, how many more are we really going to see?
I mean, he's not going to reveal everything in the trailer because he
No,
wants
of
to leave
course
some
not.
surprises.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's probably got teasers coming up as well, because we didn't know Balloon Boy was going to be coming out until basically the day of release of the game, wasn't it?
Yes,
So there's still so many secrets. Plus, it was a full color trailer. Putting Fredbear in it would reveal his color, which would probably reveal the story as well.
Still, some things are still left hidden, really, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, that's about everything we can discuss about this one. We really hope you did enjoy this discussion. We actually had a great time talking about this, and let us know down below what you actually want to see us talk about next in relation to Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Yeah, and if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below, and if you're new to any of our channels, why not subscribe for more theories like this and also the games.
So thank you very much for watching the video, guys, and we'll of course see you on the next one on all of our channels.
Bye.
Goodbye,
guys. Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?